In 2002, Avril Lavigne's debut album went 7 times platinum in the US, generated 3 top 10 singles, earned her multiple Grammy nominations, and catapulted her into the spotlight. She was riding a comet and her path glistened across the night sky. In other words, her young career wasn't blossoming, it was being finely pruned for long-term success and prosperity. And over the course of the next 2 decades, Avril's career continued to grow tremendously. But would you believe me if I said Avril Lavigne is dead? Would you believe me if I said this woman on screen here is nothing more than a doppelganger? I know this sounds like another ludicrous internet conspiracy, but I found a blog post dating back to 2011 that may or may not have definitive proof that alleges to prove this mystery to be true. In order to see if this theory has any validity to it, we are going to examine a few key pieces of evidence in order to find out if this is all bullshit or to find out the truth. And that truth is, Avril Lavigne might be dead. But before we do that, what's up dudes? My name is OK Kyle, and welcome to the Internet X-Files.
Yeah, some people think that I'm not the real me, which is so weird. Like, why would they even think that?
Are you sure about that?
That's a really good question, Avril, if that is your real name. Why would people say that you're dead? According to the post, this is what happened. After the release of her highly successful and acclaimed debut album and her increasing popularity, Arista Records hired a body double named Melissa Vandella to accompany the young musician on her worldwide tour. And over time, they eventually became best friends. Now, Melissa's sole objective was to act as a decoy whenever fans or the media were present. So that way, Avril could avoid any and all interactions with these people. On the surface, everything seemed to be going incredibly well for the young musician. But behind closed doors, life for the real Avril just got too complicated. From the combination of her grandfather's death, pressure to make another successful album, and just the overall hectic lifestyle of being famous just overwhelmed her. And unfortunately, the young musician decided to end it all. And ironically enough, the name of her debut album was entitled Let Go. I can't make this shit up even if I tried. Upon learning about Avril's sudden and tragic death, the sinister corpo bastards over at Arista Records didn't want to lose their recent gold vein they've unearthed, so they devised a master plan. We'll just replace her with a body double and surely nobody will be able to tell the difference between the two. And I also just kind of like making money, so let's just replace the dead girl, yeah? Surely human beings aren't going to waste their time pointlessly trying to prove something that may or may not be true. Then again, this is the same intelligent species that wasted a week of their time back in 2015 trying to decide what the color of a fucking dress was. Doesn't that just give you a newfound sense of profound dread? It gives me that feeling every single day the species continues to fucking breathe. So then the record executives notified Melissa that the game has changed. Instead of just being Avril's decoy, she would become the real Avril, whether she liked it or not. She would assume her dead best friend's identity and live her life. First off, even if I'm going to entertain this idea of Avril being replaced, my one main concern right now is, how the hell do you address this with the family? From everyone at the record label, we are here to say that we are truly sorry for the loss of your daughter at such a young age. You have our deepest condolences. And out of respect for your loss, we've brought you a brand new daughter that looks eerily similar to your dead one. Oh, and she also shares the same name and has an identical personality. Look, I get it. You don't have to say anything. I can tell by that horrified, despondent look in your eyes that you are very grateful. Now, we're going to thoroughly examine a few crucial pieces of evidence, just to see how conclusive they are to support the idea that Avril may or may not be fucking dead. The first piece of evidence states that Melissa, distraught by the news of her friend's death and the sudden demand to assume Avril's identity, Melissa filled the album with subliminal messages to covertly expose everything that happened during production. Let's start out with the album's title, okay? The album in question is entitled Under the Skin. You know, it's kind of like O.J. Simpson's book entitled If I Did It. If you don't want to expose yourself, maybe writing a book where you hypothesize how your wife was killed isn't the best idea for keeping a low profile and attention away from yourself. Maybe just sprinkle in this thing called nuance. And just maybe that'll help you cover up things. But let's think about the deeper meaning of this title for a second, shall we? Under the Skin. Melissa is letting us know without any subtlety that she has become Avril Lavigne, a chameleon blending into her surroundings, that everyone is completely oblivious to. There are also many more pretty obvious signs on the album cover alone that are screaming for a deeper analysis, okay? Look at how Avril's name is spelled with black lettering on a white wall. What is Melissa trying to subconsciously tell us here by looking at the album cover? Think about it for a second. Black is synonymous with death, and Avril is supposedly dead, so by choosing this color, it would seem to suggest the idea of mourning. That Melissa is still stricken with grief at the loss of her friend. And that by using this color, it's totally not the choice of the graphic designer and or record label who thought that the black and red lettering, when paired together, would be visually striking on a white wall. That's just fucking preposterous. That's what they want you to think, you fucking sheep. There's also the issue of the red cross here on Avril's shoulder. Red is obviously the color of blood. Come on, people. This is the only rational explanation that makes sense, okay? By using the same exact logic. Does this mean the white stripes are also dead and met a similar fate? So far, this all sounds like my favorite Galarian form. A little too far fucking fetched for my liking. I'm still not convinced, so we're gonna look at another piece of evidence. This second piece of evidence suggests that there are hidden messages within the lyrics. Now, this may not come as a surprise, but we all know that musicians use literary devices to make their music and lyrics more interesting for the listener. Kurt Cobain didn't write a song about finding a box with a literal human heart on his doorstep. That would just be fucking weird. Let's look at one song to see if this house has a foundation to build upon, shall we? The original poster argues that because certain lyrics in the song use she as a placeholder for Avril, therefore she's dead. There's no other explanation whatsoever. Let's look at some of the lyrics, for example. Her feelings she hides, her dreams she can't find. She is losing her mind. She was left behind. She can't find her place. She is losing her faith. She fell from grace. This song in particular is written from the third-person limited perspective to convey the universal theme of struggling with depression or any form of mental illness, or any other trials and tribulations a person may find themselves dealing with over the course of their life. The she that is being referred to here in the lyrics is just a placeholder for the listener to insert themselves into. The poster also claims that in the music video, Avril plays two different characters, and somehow this shows that she's dead. The characters in question are a runaway teenager living on the streets, on the verge of having a mental fucking breakdown. Then there's the Avril who's omnisciently watching this unfold before her very eyes. Now, there's someone out there that's going to make the argumentation that, oh, she could have hired someone else to play either role, but she deliberately chose not to because she wanted to alert her fans that she's been living a false life, that she is not the person they adore. After delving deeper into this bit of evidence, I can conclusively say that this is nothing more than a TV show hosted by Penn and Teller, because it's nothing but bullshit. The final piece of evidence that we are going to cover suggests that there was a drastic shift in Avril's overall personality, physicality, and style around the time of the second album's release. Early in her career, Avril's appearance can be best described as skater or punkish. Then in 2004, she looked a little more gothic. And then by her third album, she embraced the pop star veneer. She traded in her scuffed up Vans for a pair of high heels. This is hardly evident of a change though. Taylor Swift also underwent a drastic image change as well over the course of her career. Taylor transitioned from the meek girl next door to Ghost in the Shell live-action cosplayer. I think that's the bigger conspiracy at play here, that she's a fan of that fucking movie. But the post also mentions that by comparing her appearance at the 2003 Grammy Awards and the 2004 World Music Awards, you can clearly see that they are two different people by comparing their noses. If we run a side-by-side comparison of these two pictures through my CIA technology, we can definitively see that both Avrils do indeed have a nose in these pictures. What exactly am I supposed to be looking for here exactly? They look identical to me, but then again, I'm no plastic surgeon. Saying that their noses are identical, it's like being at a hospital nursery and someone says, "Isn't my baby just the cutest?" They all look the fucking same to me, lady. What's the difference? They all look like crying, disgusting, hairless monkeys to me. But you want to know what my favorite part of this entire conspiracy theory is? It's that in both the beginning and the end of this post, it clearly states that this was complete fucking nonsense from the start. It was written to prove just how susceptible we brain-dead sewer monkeys are to dumb bullshit we read online without questioning it. Even with this aspect being blatantly obvious, it didn't stop some oxygen-thieving dipshits from believing it was true after someone over at BuzzFeed posted it on Twitter just a few years ago. So, is this conspiracy real? Does it have any truth to it? Like I said, no. It's entirely made up. It's all bullshit. Did the poster prove their hypothesis? That people are susceptible to the things they read online without further questions? Yes. Did it restore my faith in humanity? Absolutely fucking not. So with this conspiracy finally being beaten in the head with a shovel and buried out in the desert where no one will find it, my name is OK Kyle. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Adios, dudes.